Hey, what's going on, guys? So I want to do today's video on the Super 7 Cobra Mothership release. And you might be asking why I have a tank behind me. Actually, there's a good reason I have this behind me. So Super 7 released their Cobra Mothership. It's $495. Basically, it's $500 plus $100 in shipping. Unless you're international, it's even more. We're talking about a O-ring scale size, so what they call their reaction size figure. So you're talking 3" to 3/4 of an inch scale vehicle. It's actually pretty big. Now, some of the heated debate is the price. You know, the $495. You know, is it overpriced? And I'm not really going to get into that in this video for you guys. There's already numerous really cool videos on the price point. But I think what I want to do for everyone is kind of talk comparison in size, because when you have a good idea about size, you have a better idea about your price point and what you're getting for your money. Now, this is my Ultimate Soldier 6 scale tank, so it's pretty damn big. For anyone who might not be aware, that's going to be for a 12-inch scale figure. The soldier back there, it's already in there, you might not be able to see it, is indeed a 12-inch scale figure. So this tank, as you can see next to me, it's pretty massive. That's what she said. And that's why I want to talk about in comparisons, because believe it or not, when we measure this tank bumper to bumper, it's 34 inches. So this Cobra Mothership is actually just over 32 inches. So for sake of argument, if you're going to display this thing like I'm displaying this tank, it's going to be pretty much the same. And I think this gives us a really good idea on how big this thing is and what you're getting for your money. So once again, guys, this is a 6 scale tank. And it's, so if you were to display your Super 7 Mothership, it's going to be pretty much like this. What I want to do is I'm going to take some other figures and vehicles we all might have at home to give you a really good idea what this looks like compared to what the Mothership is going to be like if you're going to go ahead and try to display this bad boy. So let's jump right into it, guys. These are, I'm sure if you're watching this, you collect the Classified Series figures from Hasbro, the G.I. Joe. So these are our roughly 6-inch action figures against the tank. You can kind of see how these things are scaled next to the tank. They barely cover really the height of the tread. The treads come up somewhere right around here. So just to once again show you guys a comparison in size here. So these are once again the 6-inch scale, not 6-inch, yes, 6-inch G.I. Joe Classified Series, very popular set of figures for Hasbro. They've been literally on fire lately. So once again, just giving you guys a quick comparison on what these look like compared to my tank, which will give you a really good idea of what it's going to look like against something like the Super 7 Cobra Mothership in size. So next up, for purposes of comparison scale and size here, we have the vintage HISS tank. This is actually the same scale size we're talking about with, these are some Black Major reproduction figures. These are actual vintage G.I. Joe figures. So once again, this is really going to be scaled well with the Super 7 Cobra Mothership. I think this is a really appropriate scaling to show you guys. Once again, tank representing pretty much the length of this mothership. So I think this is going to be a really good comparison for you guys. Sorry, I'm mumbling. Believe me, it's actually kind of awkward talking to a camera. Try it sometime. So once again, this is a vintage HISS tank, some vintage G.I. Joe figures, Big Ben, Low Light, and we have the HISS drivers made by Black Major reproductions. I like getting HISS stuff, especially when they're like custom colors. I think they're pretty cool. So without further ado, let's move on to the next thing I want to show you guys for scale purposes. Next up is one of my most favorite vehicles growing up as a kid that I actually never had as a child, which is probably why it's one of my most favorite vehicles now. It is the vintage G.I. Joe Mobile Battle Tanker. Mobile Battle Bunker as a mouthful, from the 1999 G.I. Joe series. And this is once again appropriate in size to the Super 7 Cobra Mothership. So basically same scaling. Once again, let's take a look at the 6 scale tank here, just to give you an idea what size we're talking about when we're talking about the size of what this Cobra Mothership is going to be. It's pretty crazy. So next up, what I have is the Power of the Force AT-AT, or AT-AT as I call it. A lot of us had this in our collection, or at least very familiar with something like this and the size of it. And this is pretty big, as you can see. Compared to my tank, it is relatively pretty much just the height of the soldier I have sitting in the tank, but still doesn't really compete with the length size of the tank here. So, and this is a big bad boy, and most of us, like I said, not to keep repeating myself, have this or you're familiar with the size of this. And once again, this is going to give you guys a good comparison to what we're talking about when we talk about the size of the Super 7 mothership. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video. I think you guys get the concept of this video here. I can go on and on and on showing different size scales, vehicles, and toys, but I just want to do a quick one. So once again, you guys have an idea when we say how big this Super 7 Cobra Mothership is at 32 inches in length and compared to my tank's 34 inches. That's, when I say the tank's 34 inches, that's literally bumper to bumper here. The actual tread to tread is actually 30 inches. So technically speaking, the Super 7 Cobra Mothership is actually longer compared to the tread length of my Ultimate Soldier 6 scale tank. That is a mouthful. But if you guys like the video, make sure you smash that like button. But I also like to know what you think. Comment below, you know, is this helping you guys figure out really how big this thing is? And do you still think the $495 is overpriced plus $100 shipping? So really we're talking about the $600 investment for something new with new tooling. It's pretty damn big. And we are in 2023 where, you know, no one wants to talk finance here, but inflation is a thing. If you didn't know what inflation was, you do now. So comment below what you think, and if you want to see more videos like that, you guys already know what I'm going to say. Hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys next video. Peace.